The other day, a dear friend brought me a big bag of plums from her backyard, and I honestly did not know what to do with them. For some reason, plums aren't a go to fruit in my house or for my kids, even though they probably should be. So I was excited to figure out what I was going to make with them. And just beforehand, I developed my recipe for cassava tart crust, which is a sweet but buttery, almost malty flavored tart crust. And I decided to try a plum tart with a twist. So I have my crust here that I have pre-baked at 350 for only 7 to 8 minutes. I didn't completely pre-bake it because I'm planning on filling it with my plums and a kefir mixture that I'm going to show you next. And I want to bake that all together. So I don't want my tart crust completely baked. I have pitted and sliced up 12 plums and added in juice from half of a lemon, and I'm putting in 3 tablespoons of arrowroot powder, a quarter teaspoon of fine sea salt, a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And I'm going to mix that all together. I really want the juices to combine with that arrowroot powder. Arrowroot powder is comparable to using a cornstarch. So the reason I use it is because as the plums cook, they're going to release a lot of juice. And that arrowroot powder will soak up that juice and create a thicker filling rather than one that's too juicy. So I'm taking all of my plum wedges and I'm going to arrange them in my tart crust in a pretty pattern. I'm doing this almost spiral, but you can do whatever you want. Get creative with it. And once they're all in, I'm going to mix together a filling that I'm going to pour over the top of the plums. What I'm going to use for that is a non-dairy kefir, or you can use a non-dairy yogurt or a goat yogurt. I'm using 1 cup of that with 3 tablespoons of raw honey. And then I'm going to put in a half a teaspoon of the vanilla extract and the juice from the other half of the lemon, 3 tablespoons of arrowroot powder, and a quarter teaspoon of fine sea salt. Arrowroot powder has the tendency to get clumpy, so you want to whisk it all together really well. And then I have 1 sprig of fresh thyme, and I'm pulling off the leaves directly from that and whisking them into the wet mixture. I'm not chopping them. So then I'm going to pour that mixture over the top of my plums and bake it at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes.